Hi guys, it's Cindy with Pups and Crochet. Sorry, I'm dealing with a virus right now. I pick up everything because my immune system's so low from the shots I take for my back. Well, it's for arthritis, but it's for my spine. Anyway, don't want to know that. Okay, I want to show you my pig hat. What do you think? It's a piggy bucket hat. Now, when I did the live with Connie from Just Another Stitch, I will put her down. I'll put everything in the description box. She did, we both picked a bucket list for our crochet bucket list. So we picked different things and stuff, and hers was totally different than mine. But she had this on there, and I'm like, I have got to make me one of these. So I finished it. And I love it. I cannot remember who it's by, but if you look on Connie's live, she tells who it's by when she shows her bucket list. I cannot remember, but I had to show you this because I was so excited when I finally got it done. And I've been a little under the weather, so haven't been doing any videos or anything so I'm catching up, Neva. For our 100 Days of Halloween from Neva at Manic Mama Musing. She will be listed too. And she loves doing this, counting down the days to Halloween. So this day is going to be number 94. And I am going to show you a couple things I made first. I just messed up my hair. Anyway. There we go. Somewhat. Now I got static. Anyway. Okay. So, I have been working on the pattern I told you about before. From this girl, I believe she's from Australia. She's in one of my other videos. I listed her name and everything, and she's just amazing. So, I've been working on ducks. Give them their little wings, little tail feathers, their beaks open up, blah, blah, blah. So I made this one. Then I made a totally 80s one. I forgot to put her tail feathers on. Oh, how rude. I have got to fix her. I just noticed that. She doesn't have a tail. Oh no. What are we going to do about that? Going to have to fix that up. And then I made this one. He's a little bit of everything. See, that's what her tail feather is supposed to look like. That I didn't put on the other one. So I have to fix that. Okay, so before I start my 94 story, my other ones, I was making up stories that I was told, and I found a couple that I watched on TV that I just found amazing, and I had to tell you about them. But before I do that, I have to tell you about Olivia. Olivia is my great niece from my Kristen. So she has learned how to work the phone. And Kristen was doing dishes and she heard Olivia playing the same song over and over again. And she's like, Olivia, what are you doing in there? I'm sorry, it's really bugging me. And Olivia said, I'm watching the jellies. She got on it. My TikTok. I was watching me show the jellies around. And then she got back. hit the button, got to my YouTube, and was watching me talk about the jellies and showing the jellies on there. And so I get my phone rings. It's a FaceTime call from Chris. So I open it up thinking it's Kristen. And there's Olivia with her little white safari hat on. She looks so adorable. Excuse me. And she told me, she said, I said, Olivia, what are you doing? And she goes, I need to see the jellies. I said, okay. So I go, I get the bag of jellyfish, and I'm showing her the jellyfish. And then she goes, I want to see the other sea creatures. I'm like, sea creatures? So I'm pulling out the sharks and the squids, and then I was showing her my ducks, and she goes, that's not a sea creature. And I said, but they swim on the water. And she goes, but I like the jellies. I said, okay. I said, do you want a jelly? And she goes, yes. I said, okay, what color do you want? And I have already sent it to her, but I will post a picture of it. Or I did a short. Yeah, I think I did a short on it. And I think I posted it, but she wanted pink on the top for the head. And then she wanted yellow tentacles. And that is what she said, yellow tentacles. Tentacles. And I said, okay. So I made her like this really bright pink with yellow tentacles. And I sent it to her. I'm waiting to hear back at how she liked it, but she wants to see sea creatures. And then she goes, do a lobster? And I said, well, haven't tried to make a lobster yet, but I will. I will give it a go. See how it goes. Sorry. Anyway, so got that. All right, so for my story, now this is my 100 Days of Halloween, number 94. Because before I went from 1 to 100, this time I'm doing the 100 and down. So I am behind. Now, I was checking out some of these videos, or, on TV. And I was looking in, I was on, I think it's Prime I was on. And I saw this thing, this one set of videos that go different ones. I'm like, okay. So I started checking out there. So from Prime, and then I watched my Goofy movies on Tubi, and then on Paramount I found a different set of things that were just really interesting. So I thought I'd tell you one of those. So for my number 94, this is set in Seoul, Korea. And this little old man who was very rich bought this land and built a 5-story mall. Now, in the original plans of this mall, the 5th floor was supposed to be a roller skating rink. Then all of a sudden at the end, I guess his head started getting a little greedy. He switched it over from the roller skating rink and did it for food. All food operators. Figured he'd section it off so each section pays rent, and instead of just paying rent on the roller skating rink, he got it from all these buildings. Well, when, a few months in or whatever, they were in, the mall was going, people were shopping, the workers were working, and one of the main people that were on there talking was a guy that was doing stock and stuff down in the basement level. Now you figure, so it's the basement level and then 5 stories up. And so he's working, and now this is what really, I mean, just blew my mind, that they started noticing like cracks in the wall, like looking up, and they'd start seeing them come in the corners. And this was a really busy shopping time. And so the managers, they look around and they're like, okay. They start seeing dust coming down, and then they look up, and the crack is, going down the walls. Now, it's not just in the corner, and then more dust starts coming. So all the managers of all these stores that were in the mall sent out a mass text, I guess, through managers or whatever. They all left. Didn't tell nobody, didn't close their stores, nothing. Just left. All of them got out. And then more dust started going, more cracks started going. The building started shaking. People ran. A lot of people got out. And as they were running, they set in motion more power into the building. And the more rumbling and stomping of these people running sent more shocks into the building, which basically made it go, and they had it on film. And people were screaming and crying. They had bandages. They were getting, they were doing like work right in the street because they had so many people. And all of the fire stations from all around there came in to help. Ones that weren't even called saw it and came to help. A helicopter was like over there at that one time doing a news report or whatever, and got the whole thing going like a bunch of dominoes just going down. And then they're pulling people out of the rubble. People that got out are starting to pull rocks out, and some of the concrete blocks were so big they had to bring the machines in. So these machines come in and they're lifting them, and they start finding survivors and pulling them out and getting them out. Then the one guy that was doing the main part of the video, he was in the basement, and he got trapped in enough section for him to hold like this, but he couldn't straighten his legs. He couldn't really move, but he had an air pocket, so he was able to breathe. And then around him was 3 other people, 1, 2, 3, him. So they were all talking while they were trying to keep themselves awake and wondering what's going on and wondering if anybody's going to find them, and they're just in complete darkness. And so he's talking, and there's 3 others talking. Then the next day there was only 2 talking. Then, and he can't see light or dark, so then it was 1 person talking. Then he was alone. Like, it wasn't terrible enough that you're in the basement, but now the 3 people that were around you are gone. So it took I think it was on the 9th or 10th day of searching, and these people did not stop. They just kept going. And I was so happy that these people just kept going, and I think it was the 10th day they found him. Got him out. They had to put a cloth across his eyes like this because he was in the dark for so long that the sunlight just messed his eyes up so bad, so they had to cover him. They get him out, a few broken bones, you know, concussion, dehydrated, everything like that. And then they started pulling out people that were around him that had passed away. And he's seeing all this as they're wheeling, or no, not seeing it. He couldn't see. But people were telling him, and he could hear him talking, that that one got pulled out, and that one got pulled out. And then on the 14th day, I think it was, they were still going. There was one girl, and she was so tiny. But she had found was put in like another pocket where she had air. But for all those days, she had no food, no water, no bathroom, couldn't move, couldn't stretch, couldn't do anything. She just stayed there. And she finally hollered, and they said, "We have a live one." They go in there, they get her, and, you know, beside just being, you know, starved and then so thirsty, she was like just begging for water and stuff, and, you know, really just like crushed and stiff, and, but nothing major. I mean, you would think all that concrete on you, but nothing. Few cuts, stuff like that. And then they, I was like, oh my goodness. And then the thing that got me is, after all this, then, you know, they pretty much cleared it. They didn't do anything, but then all these specialists came in, and the specialists came in and they were checking. Now, this owner was using bad concrete, bad rebarb, and then with the first floor going into, or the fifth floor that was supposed to be the roller rink, and then he switched it to restaurants, they didn't fix for the weight difference of all that machinery and rooms and people, you know, everything like that. They got the owner and they showed him prancing across as they're arresting him, and they gave him 7 years. I said, 7 years? They should have gave him 7 years for every loss of life. Why should he get 7 years? That's it. 7 years. But I guess because he was older, maybe they didn't think he was going to last 7 years. I don't know. But they gave him 7 years. And then he was sued by everybody that got hurt, the ones that had lost someone. Then, you know, and then the city sued him for how he had that constructed, how cheap he had paid it, and everything like that. And then the managers got written up for leaving, but they were pretty much hated by everybody because they ran when they could have saved all those lives by telling the people, let's go, stores closing. But no, they decided they all ran out. Just the managers didn't tell anybody. Nobody. So that is my story. And Robert's like, that's not a Halloween spooky story. I said, well, it was spooky to them. It was scary to them. And watching it, I'm just like, oh my God. Oh my gosh, are they going to find any more? And I mean, you just see him pulling everything. And it was so sad. And then when they said that guy only got 7 years, I'm like, seriously? I was like, 7 years. And the builders, though, they all got sent to prison because they took bribes from this guy to do the work not the way it's supposed to be done. He wanted it done quickly, so all the builders got put in jail. But the managers got slap on the wrist. But I figure with the community all hating all them, that probably was punishment enough. But they didn't say how many years the building contractors and all those, like the inspection guys and all that stuff, how many years they got. They only said what the owner got, and he got 7 years. But these guys, they all went to prison. So that's my story for number 94. And I send you prayers if you need them, hugs and puppy kisses. And please remember, adopt, don't shop. There are so many babies that are out there that need a home. And I love you guys, and thank you for being patient with me. And I will be right back because I'm feeling like taping for a little bit, so we're going to tape. All right. Bye, guys.